And I'm talking to, this is not just a people's opinion. I'm telling you, we are in a season of what the Lord spoke to me and said, we are in a season of the accuser of the brethren. I want to warn every single pastor friend that I have in this place. We are walking into a place where there's been a demonic spirit that's been loosed in our nation. And this demonic spirit is called the accuser of the brethren. I was doing a podcast a couple months ago with some of our pastors, and they're sharing their testimony of living in sin and immorality and how God has used them and restored them. And I'm sitting there in this podcast filming. It comes out in a few weeks. And I'm interviewing them. And as I'm interviewing, I hear in my spirit, you're entering a season of the accuser of the brethren. And instantly I'm thinking of the book of Revelation, that the accuser of the brethren stands before God and accuses day and night. Instantly then I start thinking about Matthew chapter 13. And in Matthew chapter 13 is the story of the parable of the seeds, where the enemy comes in to sow the wheats in the tares. And as he sows the wheats and the tares, the strategy was to wipe out the wheat with the tares. And I'm sitting doing this podcast, and I hear the Lord say, you're entering a season of the accuser of the brethren. And I saw a strategy of the enemy coming in to take out the righteous with the unrighteous. See, we're in a season right now where there's been an exposing of men in the body of Christ. And hear me right, those things need to be exposed. But what the accuser of the brethren is doing is trying to take out the righteous with the unrighteous. The world calls it cancel culture. And cancel culture is when the church partners with cancel culture, it becomes the accuser of the brethren. James 2:13 says this, that mercy triumphs over judgment. And we're in a season, we're going to have to learn and have a true revelation of what the mercy of God is. But I got good news for you, that Jesus has been praying for you. We've been singing it for a year, even before we would enter a season of the accuser of the brethren. We sang it tonight, Simon, Simon, Satan has come to sift you as wheat. But don't worry, Peter, I'm praying for you. And I want to let you know, every pastor and leader in this room, that you have a high priest. You have an intercessor who's praying for you. He's covering your life. He's covering your family. He's covering your ministry. And you just need to hide yourself in the shadow of his wings. I released this word to our church the first Sunday of January. It wasn't a week later that a national article trying to assassinate my character comes out. I was like, woo, we were waiting for you. It's called the Jezebel Report. Oh, no, this is what the Spirit will do. It'll try to intimidate you so that you back down and don't call what a Jezebel really is. This is the Jezebel spirit, if I've ever seen a Jezebel spirit before. And you could hide behind PhDs, you could hide behind polls, you could hide behind reporters, you could hide behind whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's a spirit. And our battle is not against flesh and blood. We're not battling against people. We're battling against dark forces. And I want to let you know that we are in a spiritual battle. Pastors, I am warning you tonight. The accuser of the brethren is not just coming to Mercy Culture. It's not just coming to Dr. Michael Brown, but it's coming to presence-driven churches all over America that will stand for truth in this hour. I just wanted to publicly honor one of our apostolic elders, Dr. Michael Brown. This has been, hold on a second, this has been an assassination on his reputation. This man I got to meet over 10 years ago, who when no one knew me, I was a nobody, just a traveling preacher wandering, who's been rejected by his family, had no spiritual fathers, had nowhere to go. He had loved me. He has sown into me. He has fathered me. I've watched him weep behind closed doors over people that are struggling in same-sex attraction, over Muslims, over lost people. I've watched him stand for truth. I've watched him. He has made me be a better man, a better Christian, a better husband, a better father. I have seen him behind closed doors, and that's why I said enough is enough of this gossip and slander, because the accuser of the brethren is going after men of God that have given their lives to build the kingdom. Someone say, not on my watch. Dr. Brown, we honor you, we celebrate you, and this presence-driven church and community of pastors is behind you.